Hello and welcome to a playtest of the new Babolat Pure Aero. I'm here with Courtside today, but you might recognize me from the tennis channel Time for Tennis. You can check me out there if you like. The newest Pure Aero comes with a lot of changes, and honestly I'm very excited about them, and probably the most obvious one off the bat, it's got to be that paint job. So not only did they change from a matte finish to a glossy finish, they changed the color scheme a little bit as well as the paint job entirely. We went from that kind of banana yellow to a more neon yellow with some gray and black elements. The design has somewhat of a digital camo kind of thing going on. It's cool, it's very different. So aesthetically there are quite a few changes, but physically there are some real changes as well that you are going to feel when you're playing with this racket, comparing it to the last generation of Pure Aeros. I think the most interesting difference comes with the new drill pattern. So this is still a 16 by 19 tennis racket, but upon closer inspection, especially if you compare this side by side as I did in a picture for you, you can see that especially around the sweet spot area of the racket, the crosses are closer together. So essentially, you are getting a denser drill pattern. Despite the fact that the string pattern is the same, a lot of the strings are actually spaced closer together, which ultimately leads to a denser string pattern, especially in the sweet spot area. And that's going to create a little bit more control, a little bit more predictable response off of the string bed. And for those string breakers out there, such as myself, which you might be, if you're getting this racket, because this is a very topspin heavy racket. Having a denser string pattern means that there are more cross strings or more main strings, whichever the case, depends on the racket, but in this case, denser string pattern, more strings to distribute the load from the stress of hitting a tennis ball over and over again. So you're probably going to notice that you will get a longer lasting string bed, and that's something I really appreciate as somebody that breaks strings very frequently. But the element of control that this brings is also to be very appreciated. I always felt that the Babolat Pure Aero series for a long time has always insisted that you hit with so much spin to control the ball and to get that ball back into play, which is kind of cool, but I also felt like it lacked diversity just a little bit in that direction, and it made people's play styles a little bit one-patterned perhaps. However, with this racket you still get insane amounts of spin, but you get a little bit more of that control, a little bit more plush of a response too, because they've done things to this racket to make it a little bit more stable through contact. Overall, I think that this racket moves in a really good direction. Babolat stays very up to date with the changes that are happening in the game, the way in which their rackets are influencing the game, and the feedback that customers ultimately have. And I think that this newest generation of Pure Aero answers a lot of those questions and comments and concerns that they gathered over the years, and this racket addresses so many of them. So still very much a Pure Aero, but it moves in a direction that I think is actually really great. This is probably my favorite Pure Aero ever. So again, really solid update from Babolat, or Babolat if you want to be really French about it. There are so many things to like about the Pure Aero series of rackets, and I think a lot of people that felt maybe it was too one way before should still give this racket a try, because this racket isn't quite like the other Pure Aeros before. So if you're a diehard Pure Aero fan, you got to check this out, because the direction that it's moved is great, really interesting stuff. And if you weren't a Pure Aero fan, I still actually recommend that you check this racket out, because it's moved a little bit in the direction of control and plow through, just a little bit more so than the previous generations of rackets. It's definitely worth a demo. All right, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out courtsidetennis.com for more, where you get orders shipped for free over $50. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Happy hitting.